Oh, wait a minute, I get all confused.
How long did it take you?
Well, I'm trying to remember if I went through the Panama Canal. Somehow no, New Orleans was over on that side. Okay. But I think that's probably enough.
I don't know.
You wanna
She's
share
interviewing him.
one missionary experience that you had?
Yes. Oh,
When they put you in jail, honey. That one.
yeah, well, no, I don't want to get into that.
Oh, okay. It's too political.
But I had been in the FBI and had been in all of the intelligence agencies of the American government.
Well, not before your mission, had you? Did the FBI come after your mission?
Lots of missions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess it did.
Yeah. So when you were just a young elder, do you have any one experience that you can think of?
Yeah,
when you
yes.
And were you 19, Uncle Harold, when you were called on your mission?
No, I was 20
Okay, 20 years old.
because I had that year out of school, and so
Had to make up for that
I
year.
had to make up for that year.
Okay.
But anyway, the experience. Sid Shreve and I had been on, were on our mission together. He was from northern Arizona, and so I was a district president, and he was a district president of one of the other districts, and he came to see me one day, and he said, a young man that we all played basketball. That's how we. That's the only way we could get to.
Kind of fellowship.
Fellowship.
Yeah, the fellowship.
Friendship and whatnot.
And so Sid came out and he said, a young fellow that was on the basketball where I played basketball is in the insane asylum, and I want you to help me find out from the Lord what we're supposed to do, if anything, about that. And so we prayed about it, and we decided to go visit him in the insane asylum, which was just a small institution. And so we went to that insane asylum, and he was behind a little window, and he started waving to us as we approached, just desperately waving to us. And so we went up to that window, and shouldn't have been in that insane asylum area. We were foreigners, and we had no business being there, but we had gone in there, and the amazing thing is, the people that operated the insane asylum were right in view of us all the time we were there, but they couldn't see us.
Mm.
And so we reached our hand. We reached our hand through that little window and administered to him. And then we promptly got out of there, and we knew spiritually, but we never did know that he was healed from his insanity. We knew it spiritually, but we never did have any contact with him after that. And that's a pretty amazing thing. And I dealt with later on in Mexico. My brother-in-law, Bangerter. Do you know who Bangerter is?
I know the name.
But that would have
That's
to be.
Bessie, my sister Bessie's husband.
Grant
Okay.
was his name? Was it Grant or?
No, his name was Blower Bangerter.
Married to Bessie.
And he was married to Bessie, but he had been one of my missionaries when I was the mission president in Argentina. And then he was mission president in Mexico.
Okay, well, let's go back. So you served on your mission, and then when you came home from your mission, how long after you came home did you meet Aunt Lenore? Had you known Aunt Lenore before?
Oh yeah, we
you
were
writing?
we were engaged.
Okay, before you went on your
Yeah.
mission. Okay,
And
and
he says she didn't wait seating. That's what he told
she
me.
didn't sit around.
Yeah.
She dated, so
I've always said jokingly that she waited for me very actively.
there you go. That way, when you got home, she knew for sure that she wanted to settle down with you.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
so where were the two of you married? Which temple?
we were married in the Arizona temple.
Oh,
And
Mesa.
Mesa was
Mesa.
the only temple in the western United States at that time.
Uh-huh. So do you have any little stories that you want to tell about Lenore? Anything that attracted you to her,
Well, I better not.
or?
Well, you always tell me that she was a grand dame. You always say that she was
Well-
a great lady.
Well, she was, and she also was on the general board of the Relief Society.
Uh-huh.
That's the only person living outside of the United States that was on the had ever been on the general board of the Relief Society. She traveled all over the world.
She was very distinguished lady, very,
Oh
very
well,
refined.
Yeah.
and but she didn't even finish high school, but she was self-educated and was a very intelligent person. She wrote lots of articles and
Poetry.
poetry and books and so on and so forth.
I don't know about books.
So that she knows about Leonor.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And how long after you were married were you called to be a mission president? And were you called again to go to Argentina with Aunt
Yes.
Leonor?
Yes,
Okay.
but Leonor and I had been in Washington. I had been in the FBI as a translator, and then when the war broke out, those of us
And which war?
that qualified
That World War I or World War
were-
II? World War II. Okay.
were in intelligence work.
But it was about 10 years after.
And I was a very dominant FBI agent, well, intelligence agent. I wasn't FBI, had been about 3 after that. But I was very prominent in intelligence work because I knew Spanish and had been in Latin America, and I was in Latin America with the FBI, with the intelligence agency.
He was 32 when he was called mission president.
Okay,
32.
that's what I was wondering. So you were 32. Do you remember how old Aunt Leonor was? Are you guys the same
She
age? Or?
she is from June to December younger than I.
So she's about 6 months younger than you then.
Yes.
Okay, so when you went on your mission as mission president to Argentina, at that point in your life, did you have any children?
She never had any children. When she was just a little girl, she had appendicitis, and her appendix ruptured, and by all human experience, she should have died, but she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
She had a mission to perform.
now we know why.
Yep. So you were you on that mission in Argentina for about 3 years, or how long?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. And when you came home from your mission, where did you guys live at that point in your life?
In San Diego.
Okay, so you came to San Diego, and what kind of work were you doing?
My brother-in-law, Dewey
Algren?
helped me get a loan from the bank, and I was able to rent a service station, and it was an independent service station. It was called something Eagle, Golden Eagle.
The Golden Eagle.
It still exists.
Ah,
I found a photograph of it.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll try to get it to you.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, but I ran one after another 4 of those Golden Eagle service stations, and at that time the war we were still in the Depression, and the war hadn't started, and so I have had a very interesting, eventful life.
So, after you were in San Diego, when was it that you adopted David and Chris?
They were living in Washington when I adopted. Weren't you, honey?
Were you in Washington, or
When
were
you
you in
adopted your
Utah when you
children?
adopted?
No, we were living in Provo.
Okay.
Do you remember the year? Doesn't matter if you can't, but, it had to be probably in the 50s.
Yeah, it was in the 50s.
Cause I was born in 49 and I'm older than David, so he was probably born like in 51 or
I think he was
52
born in 51 and Chris was born in 52.
okay.
But,
And-
but David was 4 years old and Chris was 2 years old when they got him. So
Yeah.
that makes him how old? I mean, what year?
Yeah, I'm not sure right at this point, but, so David and Chris were brothers, and were they living in a, kinda like a little foster home, or?
Yes,
how-
they were in a foster home.
Okay, and so then you guys were able to adopt them and,
And their brother still calls me Dad. She knows him.
He calls over here. Well, when we first got married, he called and he says, "Is Dad there?" And I said, "Dad?" And I said, "You have the wrong number." "No, no, no.